All right, Nixa Chamber. I just wanted to take a couple minutes here and I'm going to walk you through what it would look like on September 1st when you go in to the sponsorship drive to claim the sponsorships that you want for 2027. Hopefully, all of you have already registered to come to our sponsorship drive preview, which is August 24th. If not, please jump on and register for that so that way we know how many people are coming and we can be prepared. As a reminder, during that meeting, we will be reviewing and going over every single sponsorship that is available for 2027, and you can walk away with a packet that has all the sponsorships and their descriptions so that you can make some decisions before the sponsorship drive opens on September 1st. But once it does open, what you're going to do, so this event is not available to you yet. You can't see it. I'm on the back end of the system, but it should look very similar, if not exactly like this, when it is time for everything to open. So when you get on there, you're going to go on like an event and you're going to register like an event. That's going to take you to your next screen, which is all of the ticket items, ticket name up here. All of our sponsorships are put in here as tickets. And that's just because that's how GlueUp works. That's what we're doing is GlueUp sees them as tickets, but for you, they are sponsorships. A couple of things that you're going to see. You're going to see the ticket name or the sponsorship name. So Nixie's Gala Platinum sponsor costs $4,000, and it has the description of what you get with that sponsorship. Now, every single one has the early bird price because that is how we are applying the discounts. As a reminder, you get a 10% discount if you purchase your sponsorships during the sponsorship drive. So while this costs $4,000, you will get it for $3,600 when you purchase during the sponsorship drive. So if I'm going through here and I'm like, okay, I know I went to the sponsorship drive preview and I know that I want to have a Nixpo sponsorship. I want to be a Nixpo Elite sponsor. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to go over and I'm going to say I want one of those. Now, some of these are going to be limited as to how many you're allowed to purchase. That is not necessarily indicative of how many are available, but rather how we do limit some of these because we don't want somebody going in and grabbing every single one of one thing. So I'm going to grab one of my elite sponsor, and I know that I want to be involved in Sucker Days. I want to be the big top tent sponsor of Sucker Days. So I'm going to grab that one there. And I go down. And so as you go through and you move through this, I definitely need a new teacher lunch pass, which if you're noticing, normally costs $40, but during the sponsorship drive, I get that 10% off. I want a lunch pass. I want to be involved in general membership lunch and Lead Ozarks. So I've got my Lead Ozarks sponsorship. I can get my single ticket for next year's 2027 Lead Ozark. And now I'm into my lunches here. I would definitely want a welcome table. That's very important to me. So you go through every single one of these and you select what you want. And then at the very bottom, you have your total. That's how much is due. That's including your 10% because the actual ticket already includes the 10% discount. So that's how much that is due at the end of checking out. So I'm going to hit register now. Doesn't say checkout, but I register. It gives me all of the information. So I'm going to go through and fill out every ticket information. Now, the important thing about this step is if there's people in your organization that needs to be the point of communication for these different events, you want to make sure that that's reflected in each of these ticket items. So for example, for Nixpo, if I'm the one in charge of Nixpo, but I'm not the one that's going to be doing Sucker Days, I'll go to Sucker Days and I'll fill out the Sucker Days one and who belongs there. Okay, once we go through and we fill out all that information, it'll take you to the payment details. And under the payment details, you have two options. So you're going to use my company billing information, or you're going to fill it out for yourself. Then you get down here to the payment. So you have a couple of options. You can use a credit card, which you will hit continue and then fill that out. Or if you need to cut a check, which is perfectly fine, if you hit check, it will generate an invoice for you. So you can hit credit card, you can hit e-check, or you can hit check. If you hit a check, that will basically generate an invoice for you that you can then run up the chain if you have to. So then you can view your registration, and you will get an email with all of the information that you did. So as you can see here, all payments are due within 30 days of invoice. If that is not true for you, if you're like, it's going to take me more than 30 days to get permission or run it up to corporate and then come back down or issue the check or whatever, all we ask is that you reach out to the Nixa chamber, let us know that it'll take a little longer than 30 days. And we are happy to work with you, as most of you do work with us about this, and you know that we're very flexible when it comes to, as long as you're communicating with us, then it's very flexible. Another thing is, when you're going through and you're working on this, you need to you might see, if you're on there, you might see that there's some wait list opportunities, meaning that somebody already took that sponsorship. But if it's something that you really, 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 really want, it's possible that somebody backs out of that sponsorship for whatever reason. And then you would be the next person, or wherever you lay in the wait list for that sponsorship, and we'll reach out to people on the wait list. So don't be afraid of putting yourself on the wait list. Let's say that you put yourself on the wait list to be the gold sponsor for Soccer Days, and it becomes available, but you've already moved on and purchased other things and you no longer want that sponsorship. You don't automatically get it. We reach out to you and say, hey, it's become available again. Would you like it? And then you can choose then if you want it or not. So as you go through on September 1st, again, I suggest that you find the stuff that you absolutely want first. Check out with that, because if it's sitting in your cart while you're browsing and somebody else checks out with it, then you won't have it anymore. So check out with your top 1 or 2 or 3 sponsorships that you absolutely want, and then go back and get the smaller ones that have a higher quantity. For example, like welcome tables and things like that, Nixpo booths. There's a very high quantity of those, and they're not going to sell out during the sponsorship drive. But the sponsorships that have only 1 or 2 or 3 of them will. So make sure it's kind of like a dual thing. Is my recommendation is check out with your top 2 things that are limited, and then go back and get the things that have a higher quantity after you've checked out and absolutely gotten them. Hope this helped. Please let me know if you have any questions, and we will see you hopefully on our event on September 1st.